Hello everyone, welcome to a new comic series, which is sort of like all of my other comic series where I just sit and review a book. Only this time I'm going through my collection, picking out things that I really like or that I've acquired over the years, or, just general new acquires of older things that are kind of interesting and, positive, if you will, or at least positive in my light. I'm sort of been inspired as of late by people like Comic Book Hut and John Delarose doing really positive reviews of comic books, and I kind of want to, get into that vibe. It's a lot better than doing negative stuff all the time, right? So, I found probably the most triggering book in my collection to start with. Probably maybe not the best idea if you're doing a positive review, but hey, whatever. So this is a comic by DC called G.I. Combat, featuring the Haunted Tank. I am not 100% sure what year it's from, but I'm sure I could find out if I looked into it. I know it's issue number 180 of G.I. Combat, so it was definitely released sometime in the 60s, I would say. Let me just scroll down here. As you can see, this is a Joe Kubert cover, really cool looking cover, and I got this one on a trade. I used to deal with this little shop sort of thing where you give them books and they give you credit, and then you can use the credit to buy other things that they have, and this one just sort of caught my eye at the time. It wasn't very expensive. It was $3, so I just used it. It's pretty damaged up. There's a giant tear all through the book, but it doesn't affect the story, as the little tag said on the outside of the book. So why I say this is triggering is because it deals with a very positive Christian message, as well as the characters in it, the hero characters, the soldiers, are directed by the dead relative of the commanding tank officer, who was a Confederate soldier during the Civil War. And thusly, let's see if I can find an image of it here. Anyway, they carry a Confederate flag on the back of their tank, which I thought was kind of funny. The story's pretty cool. Basically, his relative directs him to help people in need during the war, essentially. So these nuns here get trapped in a church that was bombed by the Germans, and his relative says you have to go in and save these people before they die because they're going to save you. Anyway, they save one of them, and they have some priceless statues of saints in there, and the surviving nun wants to protect them. So she decides that the statues need to take priority, so they put them inside of the tank. And she sits on the outside of the tank. Anyway, where the cover gets it from is when they get pinned down by the Germans, she takes the machine gun on top of the tank and fires, but she fires around them because apparently she's a really good shot. She's a farmer's daughter and the best shot in the county, if you will. And that chases them off. So the commander officer here, he says, okay, you've proved you're a crack shot, Mother Superior, but why didn't you shoot instead of just, playing tag with those krauts? And she says, life is sacred. I fired only to prevent yours from being taken. As it is, I'll have to pay penance. Now let me tend to your wound, because he got shot earlier. But anyway, so it's a really interesting little story. And then later on, they use the statues of the saints to set a trap for the Germans, and they think they shot them, and then they're still inside the tank. They blow up the German tank, and they're safe. So in the end, the statues did save them. The nun's safe. She takes a piece of the saint statue as a relic to help other people. It's just a really nice story. The one at the back is just like a simple, sort of fighting story. Nothing real major there. Anyway, it's a cool little book. I'm really glad I picked it up, and I just bought it because of the weird cover on it. back then. Nonetheless, it was a fun read. So I would definitely suggest it. It was definitely positive, and I'm definitely glad that I picked it up. So that's GI Combat number 180. And just for major clarification, let's check to see when it was published. And it says 1975. Well, that's interesting. I thought it was the 60s. And as you can see here, the story is by Bob Kangesher. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And the art was by Sam Glanzman. I'm not familiar with either of those names. But comic artists were never, remembering the names of comic artists was never my strong suit. But anyway, that was a little fun video. I'm going to do more of these. I've got quite a few to go through. I've got a huge stack that I want to sort of go through and talk about with you guys. So hopefully you like this. And look forward to more. Thanks. I'll see you next time.